Okay, so I've now dried my piece with a hairdryer, and you can see that it's a very uneven textured. It's not totally covered up, and we don't need it totally covered up because we're going to add more paint on top of this. So the next step that I do is I take my DecoArt 3/4 filbert brush. It's a beautiful brush. It has nice long bristles, and what's neat about it is this round, the round shape of these bristles. When you paint with it, it doesn't leave brush marks, square brush marks like a flat would. And see, here's my 3/4 inch flat brush. When you paint with this, it will leave the marks of the square ends of the bristles. The filbert brush doesn't do that, and it's soft enough bristles that and long enough that it has quite a bit of play in it, and it's really nice to work with. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to move the roller out of the way, and we're going to put some blue and some yellow on this. So I have chosen phthalo blue, and this is a very strong blue. You don't need very much of it on your surface to make a really strong color. And this is Hansa yellow, and you'll see I put a little bit more of that out because I've got several places I want to place the Hansa yellow. And it's a very bright primary yellow color. Leans a little to the green, so it will be good to use in this project. So what I want to do first of all is I have some extender. It's called Extender and Blending Medium, and I just get my filbert brush into that, and I'm going to put a little bit of this extender and blending medium all over this surface. And what this will do is it's going to slow the drying time of the paint down, and it's going to help me to be able to blend all my colors together. Now I don't want too much. I want to spread it out nice and thin. I don't want puddles on the surface. I just want a nice thin layer, and you'll see where you've put it on because of the sheen. You'll be able to see this very easily. So I just go all over the board, making sure all the areas are covered, so that I have this nice surface to work on and blend my color out as I apply it. So I'm just about done. I'm just going to go over it really quick, make sure I haven't missed any spots, and you can see it's very shiny under the lights, and you can see what's going on here. So now I'm going to start with the blues, and these are going to be my darkest darks in here. So I'm just going to put some blue. I know where I want to put it. I'm going to put it right here where my butterfly is going to be, and I'll just blend that in like that, and I'll add some more green in this corner because I really want this green to be solid in that spot, and I want to blend between the two colors. And you can see as I slap between the colors, they just blend right out. So this blue, I'm going to keep applying it down here. I think I'll put it on a diagonal bit so that it'll go underneath the butterfly, and there will be some greeny blue underneath my flower. So, and I'm just going to add more green. So I just pick up the green on my dirty brush, and I just slap between the two colors, and you can see it goes from blue to medium, or yeah, medium dark. And then in this corner I'm going to put some more green, just using a dirty brush all the time so the colors blend nice, and slapping it on. And now I'm going to pick up some yellow on my dirty brush, and I'm going to put some yellow in this corner. Now that looks really, really bright, doesn't it? But when you mix it and you slap it with the green, it sort of tones it down a bit. And yes, I do want quite a bit of this yellow color in. In fact, I'm going to put some yellow right there. I'm going to put some more yellow down here. I'm going to leave a little bit of darker green right in there. Put some yellow right in there, mix it really well. I'm going to put some down here. Now you don't want to put it in in a real regular pattern around your picture. You want to plan out that this yellow is going to be in different areas and different shapes, different sizes, so that you have variety in your background. Okay, now I think I'll put a little bit right up in here. Maybe not quite so bright there. Maybe I'll put a little bit more right in there. Okay, so now I have it in 5 different areas. I have a nice blue streak coming down the middle here, and I'm going to pick up a little bit more green and put that down there, the regular pine green. And I'm just going to slip slap between all of these so that they're nicely blended. Now you still can see the brush strokes in here, but what we're going to do next is get our mop, and we're going to soften some of those brush strokes out. Now this modeling process is not done all at once. Too many people want to get it done really, really fast, and this is the sort of thing that you play with. You don't just do it once and that's it. You are going to play with this a little bit and do more than one layer. So now I have a 3/4 mop brush from DecoArt, and you can see the bristles are nice and fluffy. And this is a softening tool, and what we're going to do is just go in. Now I usually start with the lightest colors and soften out, but you'll see as I just swish this lightly, it's just a very, very light touch. You'll see that it softens the brush marks out and makes this all really, really soft. Now you're going to be since there's a lot of paint on here, you're going to be picking up a lot of paint on your brush, and you may want to from time to time just wipe it on a paper towel, or I have a baby wipe here, and the baby wipe has a little bit of alcohol in to remove some of that paint from my brush, and I just scoot it around like that, and it's just a damp one. It's not really wet, it's just damp. And then I take some paper towel, and I will get the paper towel and I will just soften the brushes back up and take most of the moisture off, so that's still really dry. Now I'll go back into the light color and I'll just keep softening and softening and softening. Now if I go into the too dark green, I'm going to run into problems. When I go into my yellow, it's going to take all my yellow away, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to soften into the yellow, the areas where I put the yellow, and soften around the edges, and I'll just wipe it on my paper towel when I feel like I'm getting too much paint on there. And if I get too much that the paper towel isn't helping me, then I'll go to the baby wipe. But anyways, we'll just keep going here, and I'm barely touching the surface, and you can see that it's smoothing out those brush strokes, and it's creating a little bit of diagonal movement here, which is good. You don't want a plain, ordinary background. That's why we're modeling. We're trying to create some dynamic movement in the background, and we're trying to make it very interesting to our eye, but not so interesting that we take away from the main subject of our painting. So we want the main subject to be the main subject, but this background will imply that there are other plants and leaves in the background, and it will give some interest to our painting. So now I'm going to go into this blue here and soften it right around the outside edge of that yellow. We're back into green in the back corner here. But you see as I go, it's just softening that color right out, and it is very interesting as far as backgrounds go. Now this blue here, I'm going to go right into the blue and try and keep some of that from being taken over from the green, so we'll just soften the blue and the green at the edges. There we go. Now I'm back up into the yellow here, so I'm going to clean my brush off as well as I can on my paper towel, and then I'll go into the yellow and I'll soften that corner out. And you see, you put enough extender on your surface, then it will allow you to keep moving this paint around a little bit. And what you don't want it to move the paint, you just want to get the brush strokes out of the paint, so you can just touch it lightly. It's like a butterfly kisses on the surface, and just in an X's, just in a little back and forth X slip slap method of softening that paint. And you'll see there's still marks in the background where there's lights and darks, and so it might take you more. This is coming along really, really well for me today, and it just depends on how much extender you put in on your surface. And if you have trouble, if it's a place where you're really dry, your atmosphere in your painting spot is very dry, then you might want to add a little bit of extender onto your brush before you apply the paint. But this is working out really well this morning, and I'm just going to keep on softening around here and blending, and you'll see these colors just begin to melt together. And I don't want any brush strokes showing. I want it nice and smooth, and I want a good we want to see some good changes in the background though, but not strong brush stroke marks. So this blue here is very strong, and I'm just going to soften some of that green into the edges there. Okay, I think I'm just about done. Now this might take you more time. I've done this modeling exercise so many times that I'm getting better at it, but it might take you 2 or 3 coats to get something that looks soft enough. And what you'll find is the more coats that you do, you'll have a lot more depth to the color. And the second time and the third time that you put the color on, you don't put it on as strongly. Now you see this Hansa yellow. I'm just going to pull this underneath. Can you see the difference? The Hansa yellow, between the Hansa yellow and the green that's on there now, where I put it. So don't be afraid to take a really strong yellow color and put it in there. The dark blue is, you see it's creating some of the depth, and it looks like it's further away. So this is what you are trying to accomplish by doing this mottled background. I hope you have fun doing it, and I'm just going to dry this, and then I'll show you quickly what it looks like when it's dry, because I have the strong light shining on the painting there. Maybe you can see it better now, a little better now. But I've got the strong light shining on the painting, so it's kind of hard to see in spots. This is all shiny, but that's dark blue in there, and there's a little bit of green modeling coming through there. So I'll dry the painting and show you what it looks like when it's finished.